Okay, so we're working on EE7 still. Yesterday we talked about adding and subtracting equations, and today we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing. Now, just a reminder, if you're going to solve an equation using addition, we're going to write the equation using subtraction. So same idea here. If we're going to solve it using multiplication, we're going to write it as division. If you're going to solve it using division, you're going to write it as a multiplication. So let's get started. Alex is making model SUVs. Each SUV needs 4 tires. He has 32 tires for the model SUVs. How many model SUVs can Alex make? Write an equation to represent the situation. So let's think, how would we solve this as a 5th grade student? Well, we know that we got 4 tires per SUV, and we have 32 tires. So what I would do in elementary school is I would say 32 divided by 4, okay? So I would have said something's going on with my pen here. 32 divided by 4. So that's what I would have done to solve this in elementary school. But to write the equation, right here it says write an equation to represent it. Instead of us dividing by 4, we're going to multiply by 4. So we're going to say 4 tires per SUV, and that's going to equal 32 tires. So we would solve it again using division. We would divide both sides by 4. So T would equal 8. Okay? So, everybody good with that? Good. All right, next thing, we have Lucas averages 12 points per game in basketball. How many points would he score in 5 games? Write an equation to represent the situation. Well, what I would have done in elementary school, I would have said 12 points per game times 5 games is 60. Okay? But here's the deal. They're not only wanting you to solve it, but they want you to write an equation. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say 12 points. That's our total. And we're going to say that's equal to something, or 12 points per game. That's equal to the total points divided by 5. Okay? So what we would do here to solve is say times 5 times 5. So P would equal the 60 we already talked about. So your equation, you could write it as P over 5 equals 12. Guys, you could also write it with a division sign. We write it as a fraction because we know that fractions are division. But you could also say P divided by 5 equals 12, and that's completely fine. They both mean the exact same thing. But just remember, if you are writing, or if you're solving using multiplication, write it as division. And if you're solving with division, write your equation as multiplication.